Speaking of everything else going on in 2020, that's obviously been a tough year, Shaq, just in general. And I think for all of us listeners, obviously we love, you and just what you mean to everyone. I think, in the midst of 2020, I remember sitting, standing, we're getting ready for the Pro Bowl, about to play the game. I'm in the locker room, about to do the team prayer and everything else, and about to pray for all the fellas. And, there's the greatest players, in the NFL in the locker room. And next thing you know, they tell us about Kobe, and every guy start crying. I start tearing up. Everybody, and we just start praying about it. And I never seen in the midst of a moment everybody freeze, especially men. That many men in one moment, and the connection. And obviously, you got to play with them. But just, can you talk about just, one, where you were, but also just, the type of player that he was, the type of, person, what he meant to the world, and just everything else. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, the night before, I know LeBron broke a scoring record. So the next day, I'm training my son. One of my older sons comes to me with the phone crying. And I said, "What the hell wrong with you?" He couldn't say it. He said, "Look." There was a TMZ article. And my heart just stopped for a second, and a tear automatically came. I was like, and then I'm saying to myself, "This is the internet. It can't be true. It's the internet. It has to be the internet." And then my ex-wife called me crying. Everybody called me crying. And I called Charles. I said, "Charles, is it true?" He said, "Yeah, it's true." And then I just, I was upset because we never really talked a lot. Probably should have. But I was always the type, Russ, I'm going to go do my job and then I'm coming home. I got family. I know you got family. I don't want to bother you. I know you got, I'm not going to, you need me, you call me. I was always that guy. And, a lot of people thought we had a really bad relationship. No, we had a respectable relationship. Respectable enough to win 3 in a row. Do we agree on stuff all the time? Nope. But who does? The Beatles didn't agree on stuff. The Brady Bunch didn't agree on stuff. But, sometimes you have to focus on the relationship or the task. I'm focusing on the task.
Yeah.
He was focusing on the task. So, but, the respect was always there. I was just upset that I could never say anything to him again. Last time I saw him it was either the game where I asked him to get 50 and he got 60, or the interview we did for TNT. That was the last time I saw him. But he always kept in touch with my kids. He always took care of them because ever since they were little, they know him as Uncle Shaq. Mm-hmm. And you know that the locker room stuff never feeds out into the real world. But he was a guy that wanted to be great at 17. We used to have to slow him down, but he wanted to be great right away. He wanted to take the last shots. Like, I'm 17, I'm here, but you want me to shoot it, I'll shoot it. So we knew he had it in him. And he did it his own way. He did it at his own pace. For this generation, he's probably their guy. For my generation, it was Dr. J and Magic. But probably for your generation, it's probably Jordan and all those guys. But for this generation, Kobe was their guy. So a lot of people.
Yeah, I love watching, Kobe, because just the clutch shots that he had. He had no fear, when he had the ball in his hand, and he worked for everything, he had the talent. Some people just wake up with the talent, and he had that, but he also worked for it, and I think that was always something that we, from growing up and watching a guy like him and being around him, the couple times I was able to be around him, he always seemed to have that, and so if you could say one thing to him now in the midst of everything, if you could have one other opportunity to say something, what would you say?
There's a picture going on. I said this on TNT a couple weeks ago. There's a picture that somebody made of an old Kobe and an old me. I just wish that could be true. Wish that from 20 years from now, I got my gray beard, he got his gray beard, we could just sit and talk about grandchildren, about times and all that. That's the only thing I wish. I never really, like I said, after the games and after the seasons, we never really talked a lot. And that's how I've always been. But if I could do it now, we'll just shoot the breeze, brother. Just talk about what's going on.
Shaq, if I could say one last thing to Kobe, I would say thank you for the father you were. to the young girls that you were able to raise and to love and to show them what work ethic was like, what grace and joy was like. Um, I would say thank you for that. You really were able to teach me from a distance that being a father is one of the greatest gifts in the world. You may be able to have an amazing fadeaway shot. You may be able to throw the ball a long, long way. You may be able to do so many things that the world's never seen. But the thing that the world really needs is fathers like you, people who could lead and love. And Shaq, I know that you have your kids, and I know Kobe, for you. Thank you, man. Thank you for what you did. Thank you for who you were. Thank you for what you stood for. Thank you for how you loved your children and how you loved V. And just despite it all, despite all the success and everything else, you were an amazing dad first. And that's helped change my life. That's helped show me the way in so many different ways, on how to love my children. And I know, our kids um, get to be around each other. And, um, I know BB and Sienna get to spend so much time together when they can. And just, I'm grateful for just who you were, what you stood for. And your legacy is going to forever live on. And everything that you've done, from Granity Studios to the amazing books that you wrote, and so many things you won, not just on the court, but off the court. There's no way like you. There's no one like you. And, Mamba mentality is real. You're able to mean so much, not only to myself, but the rest of the world. And I just want to say thank you for that. Thank you for what you stood for. Thank you for the father that you were. And if I could say one last thing to you, that's what I would say. So thank you, Kobe. Thank you, man. Whew. As we transition, that was heavy. And, just like I said, Shaq, and, thanks for opening up your heart about that. And Kobe, just thanks for everything you've done.